Why Palestinian defenders do not shout to Egypt, "Open the gate." Part 1. Please see the description under this video, if you need clarification of the sound, created by AI. Please click the like button and share this video with your friends to spread the truth. The more I think about the Palestinian-Israeli problem, the more I am convinced that the basis of all hatred and rejection of Israel comes from anti-Semitism. This is demonstrated by the massive anti-Jewish demonstrations and attacks on Jews after October 7. Anti-Semitism is a mental illness of a very large portion of the world population. I do not see the possibility of a cure of this infection at least in the next 100 years, although I hope for a time when it will be treated. The reason for the existence of this disease in the modern civilized world lays in the first place that not even one government of any country puts enough attention to this problem and does not take adequate action to eradicate it. Yes, we hear condemnation of anti-Semitism, but no appropriate action is being taken other than verbal condemnation. At the same time, I see a completely different attitude towards the problem of racism and Islamophobia. You can easily imagine the reaction of many media outlets, government, and prominent figures if pogrom on October 7 happening to African Americans or Muslims. America was turned upside down in the last several years, when several African Americans died at the hands of police officers, whether those police officers were guilty or not, and whether those dead African Americans were to blame for their own deaths or not. In all cases of the deaths of African Americans, even before the investigation began, the Democrats and their media started blaming the wrong people and create by this the convenient for them narrative. In addition, the creepiest thing is that they continue to blame the innocent, while at the same time praising those who are responsible for what happens. When Trump imposed a temporary shutdown on the admission of Muslims from dangerous countries to America, how much noise was raised, and as soon as it was possible, their admission was resumed. If America educated children and adults about the history of anti-Semitism the same way as they do about African American slavery, then the situation would be much better. Only, please, without special privileges and reparations. Firstly, it is humiliating, secondly, it is insulting, and thirdly, it will lead to the opposite effect as it does for African Americans. First, part of this educational program should be to clarify that Israel is not an occupier, but on the contrary, the Arabs are. The second claim is that Israel mistreats Arabs, is also a lie. Please show me at least one example of a bad treatment of Palestinian Arabs. On the contrary, you could find hundreds of examples of a good actions and attitude from Israel for Palestinians Arabs, which they really did not earn. I do not have time in this video to explain these statements. There is a huge amount of verified material demonstrating this, but I am still planning to do this later. Israeli occupation and mistreatment of Palestinians are the same types of fabrications as the statements that Jews killed Jesus Christ, or poisoned the water wells during the plague in the Middle Ages, or drinking of blood of the babies, or manage all of the media and the whole world. Anti-Semitic crimes in USA were on the rise long before October 7. In 2021 the number of anti-Semitic hate crimes increased by 36%. It were 1,124 of anti-Semitic hate crimes in 2022, the highest ever recorded by the FBI. At the same period in 2022 were only 158 hate crimes and incidents involving Islamophobia. Since October 7, admitted a growth of anti-Semitic incidents in Germany, 240%, the United States, 400%, and London, 1,353%. This war is not just between Hamas terrorists and Israelis. This is a war against all of the world's Jewish population and all civilized people. FBI Director Christopher Wray said the U.S. is seeing historic levels of anti-Semitism, with actions targeting the Jewish community after the Hamas-Israel war adding to a threat level for Jews that has spiked in recent years. The reality is that the Jewish community is uniquely targeted by pretty much every terrorist organization across the spectrum. In addition, when you look at a group that makes up 2.4%, roughly, of the American population, it should be shaking to everyone that same population accounts for something like 60% of all religious-based hate crimes. Since October 7, instead of mass support for Jews, we see increase of anti-Semitism all around the world and increase of assault and murder of Jews, not Muslims.